permissible, the legislation allows for the transfers to happen on a tax-neutral basis. Now, prior to the retirement coming into effect of the annuitization provisions in March 2021, irrespective of when the amount was contributed in the respective fund, provided that the transfer was permissible, the full amount transferred would benefit from the tax-free transfer concessions that are available. Now, what happened is, as the legislation currently stands and following an oversight in some of the consequential amendments that were made following the coming into effect of the annuitization provisions, as the law currently stands, if an amount is transferred and the portion of the amount being transferred relates to amounts contributed prior to 1 March 2021, the portion of the retirement interest that relates to pre-1 March 2021 contributions that is being transferred will unfortunately not enjoy tax-neutral transfer status. Now, to correct this oversight and ensure alignment with policy intent, it is being proposed that the legislation is amended to clarify that irrespective of when the contributions were made, in the event that the transfer is permissible, the full amount transferred will enjoy tax-neutral status.
Okay, thank you, Chair. That is the end of the first part, which is individuals and savings. The next part of the draft TLAB is general business taxes. Next slide. The first proposed amendment is clarifying the definition of contributed tax capital. I wish to state that this is one of the contentious proposed amendments, which dates back from the 2021 tax amendments. And as indicated in the earlier slide, slide 4, that after the budget announcement, we did have technical consultation with the affected stakeholders to discuss the technical proposed amendments. This proposal, we did have technical consultation with the affected stakeholders to discuss this proposal because it was historically coming from the 2021 tax amendments. So this comes from the 2021 budget review, whereby we made an announcement to make changes to the definition of contributed tax capital so as to limit the possible exploitation of these provisions. As such, amendments were proposed in the 2021 draft TLAB, and the initial proposed effective date of the amendment was 1 January 2022. After reviewing the public comments received on the draft TLAB, and after the stakeholders have made parliamentary representation during public hearings, the effective date of the amendments was changed to 1 January 2023. And then we mentioned in the budget that National Treasury will want to have more time to review the impact of the proposal, and the possible amendments could be made in the 2022 legislative cycle. So we did have meetings around May with the affected stakeholders in preparation for this. As such, after the meetings in the 2022 draft TLAB, it is proposed that changes be made now to the proviso of the definition of contributed tax capital to allow for targeted transactions. So now what we are doing is that instead of making a provision, an anti-avoidance measure, which is more general, we have a targeted anti-avoidance measure. Another proposal is to make changes to include another anti-avoidance measure that will require a company to test whether the contributed tax capital had equally been allocated to all shareholders of the class of shares proportionally to their shareholding for a running 91-day period before and after each and every transfer. As a consequence, should any previous or any future distribution within the 91-day period before and after distribution not have been allocated contributed tax capital within the class of shares. None of those transfers made during that period will be able to be allocated the contributed tax capital. I wish to stress that this proposal was made after the consultation with the affected stakeholders. I know that because during the consultation process, they would want sometimes to channel the wording or to channel the proposal in one way or the other. But we as government decided to make the proposal in this manner. But we know that maybe during public hearings, they will come with different proposal, of which now the Parliament